Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're kind of just picking up exactly where we left off in the end of the last one. Basically, after the Yukon pulled around, it is absolutely filthy. This thing needs a wash really, really bad. It's just been sitting on the side of the house for probably 4 or 5 months. Oh my God, but I hate to say it, but you know, Chawp has been sitting for a while. It is gross. It has bird crap all over it, a bunch of dirt. It's nasty. It really is. Now, what are you doing? What is that? Whenever I pulled the engine, I actually did clean the engine bay, so the engine bay isn't as greasy and gross as it was whenever the last engine was in here. So luckily, all we have to really do is just spray it off and just get it a little cleaned up. Nothing too crazy. There's not a lot that I really have to do or have to buy in order to get the Yukon back on the road. The biggest thing I need is actually for the transmission. One of these cooler lines broke because of the dogs, and also the dogs chewed up my harness off of this here. So I do need a new one of these, and then new lines. It's a sad day, guys. It's a sad day, man. I hate the Colorado just sitting back there. It looks so sad to me because it's like that's my truck, man. I don't want this thing to sit back here like, you know, like some other things, you know, some other cars all just chilling. I want my truck back already, but we're gonna have to be patient and wait for the machine shop. You guys know how that process is. It takes a long time. Basically just have to wait. We are gonna go ahead and start off by getting this thing cleaned up. Alrighty, we got the Yukon all cleaned up. It didn't take too long, but also it's a black vehicle. Black vehicles are always so difficult to wash. There's still a bunch of little streak marks and stuff like that, but for the most part, it doesn't really need to be 100% perfect at the moment. It doesn't even have an engine in it yet, so it'll probably be washed afterwards again. As you see, the interior is full of parts from the old engine. I'm gonna have to deep clean the interior to get rid of the smell of oil, because it definitely smells like oil's been in here. I'm really not too worried about it at the moment. Probably get this AR5 out and pull the 4060 out here. Gotta change the flywheel out for the flex plate, so we could bolt torque converter onto it. The goal with the transmission is to figure out exactly where it was leaking. So whenever the transmission was in the truck before, it would constantly leave puddles coming from in between the transmission and the transfer case. Not sure exactly what it is that was leaking, but we're going to go ahead and figure it out now. Whenever I actually went to go drain this when I was taking the engine out, there was no fluid in here. Which, you know, that's obviously not good. So first off, we're gonna get the transfer case disconnected from the transmission itself.
What up, guys? It is now the next day. Braven got started on the Yukon last night, got this thing cleaned up, got the layer of dirt blown off of it, and he resealed the transmission to the, what is this thing called? Transfer case. There you go. So before, his truck had a leak right here, and we were looking it up and trying to figure out why it would be leaking right there. And it turns out that all the transmission fluid makes it all the way right here. Like, this area that's inside of there is not sealed off. So you have to seal these two together, in which Braven got that done last night, and now it's had plenty enough time to dry. I think he told you guys about this already, but this is Lola. She's the culprit. Lola didn't only chew that up, but she also broke the cooler line where it plugs in. So the factory fitting where the line plugs in right here, she was actually standing on this at the back window when it was out back, and then she slipped off and fell on it and broke it. That dog tears shit up, boy. What can I say? Anyhow, Braven's gonna grab the AN fittings from... Is that what you're doing? Is AN?
Yeah.
Braven's gonna grab the AN fittings from Speedway. They have like little adapter fittings to just screw in, and then you just run AN line up to your cooler. It's gonna be a lot easier than trying to go to the dealership and get a new hard line for it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the actual hard line that broke. But anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and try to get this big old beached whale mounted up there inside of the Yukon. That's going to be a job in itself, from my understanding, because Braven tore all this apart himself, by himself. I wasn't out there helping him with this, so he said this is a pretty difficult task. Well, I can officially say that this was the hardest transmission I've ever had to put inside of a vehicle. Off with the clutch, man. On with the flex plate. that was a joke at one time.
Off with the clutch.
Imagine having a flex plate on your LS.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so we got the clutch off. It has seen better days. Oof, my bad. What's beating on it? Man.
Alright, it is now officially break time. We are hitting the road. We gotta go to Speedway to go and get some parts. Hopefully nobody steals Braven's hood while we're gone. You think someone's gonna steal your hood?
If they do, can they replace it with HD?
We're kind of in the hood.
Yeah.
They might steal your hood because we're in the hood.
Get it? Facts.
And we're back. Back again. Braven's going to a flex plate. Tell a friend. You need help with that? I got you, fam.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome. Alright, trans cooler is ran. Needed to get those fittings on top of that transmission back there before we went and put the engine in. So it's a lot easier to access. Hopefully, Braven's got it routed in a way that hopefully whenever he puts long tube headers back in here, it's not going to be in the way. So, looks like they're up high enough. But anyhow, wraps around to the cooler. Trans cool. You gotta keep your trans cool, man. Stay cool, trans. Wow, would you just look at that? So he ended up getting push lock fittings and hose. Well, was that 20 feet for 50 bucks at Speedway? Or did you get the 15 feet?
It was 20 feet.
Was it 20 feet? Dude,
Yeah.
20 feet, man. So we were at Speedway, we got the fittings, and we went up to AutoZone to go and get oil, and we're getting the hose from there because Speedway wanted, it was like $54 for the hose. Braven was like, screw that, bro, $54. I'll just go get some damn hose from AutoZone, right? We go to AutoZone, they wanted $10 a foot, dude. Came out to $120 for 12 feet. So, yeah, we went back to Speedway and got that. That is the reason why it is blue, or else we would have just put black hose in there. I tend to like black hose a lot more, you know.
A lot more than blue hose.
Doesn't stand out as much as the blue
I'm not
hose.
really an Avatar kind of guy.
Yeah, no.
Smurfs, you know.
What the hell? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm talking about hose, bro.
I know, me too.
Black hose, man. All right, so next we gotta throw the dang old torque converter in there. No more clutchy, boy. I'm gonna put the torque converter in, and then I believe it's ready. Go ahead and drop the engine. the engine in last night, and unfortunately the engine has to come back out. Well, it doesn't have to come all the way back out. We got to lift it back out because we're trying to mate the transmission up to the engine. I don't think we got the torque converter in there all the way. You know, you have to hear the 2 clicks. So when I put it in, I was messing with it, and I swear, dude, I just got it as far in there as it will go. But the flex plate is coming in contact with the torque converter like flush, and there's still like, I don't know, close to an inch gap between the actual bell housing and the engine. So yeah, that torque converter's got to go back in there a little further. So we're gonna lift the engine. Well, Braven's gonna lift the engine up a little bit and bring it forward because I've actually got to take off right now. Outlaw finally called, and the cam is finally there and ready to be picked up. The Sloppy Stage 2 cam, which is the giveaway for you guys. I've been waiting to get it in hand, obviously, before we do the drawing for the giveaway. So huge shout out to everybody who entered. I'm going to pick the cam up now, and then yeah, we'll be able to do the drawing here in the near future. All right, guys, so it has been a very long time later. It's been quite a few hours. I left the camera here for Braven when I took off, so he can keep you guys updated. And when I got back home, the camera's sitting in the same place. So thanks a lot, Braven. Anyhow, while I was gone, Braven pulled the engine out, put it back in, and then whenever I got back, we pulled the engine out twice. And the thing is whenever we get it bolted up, we can't. The engine won't spin. And long story short, we came to a conclusion that the pump is bad on the transmission. So, yeah, that may have been part of the noise that this thing was making whenever we pulled the engine the first time. It very well could have been the noise, man. Through the duration of Braven, have we ever even mentioned that?
I don't think so.
So through the duration of Braven tearing the engine down, the engine that was in the Yukon, he was pulling it all apart and he was gonna pull the cam out of it. Well, the cam wouldn't come out because one of the cam bearings is seized to the cam, not allowing the cam to come out. So that's a problem. But I don't think that is what was making the noise. I think it was actually the pump on the transmission that was making the noise, and I think that cam bearing was like that probably for quite some time and just never noticed it before. You know, it wasn't, I don't know, man, I just don't see a cam bearing being seized like that making a lot of noise. I see it putting a bunch of trash inside of the oil, obviously, and I see it I see it causing problems. Definitely.
After a while, yeah.
But I think you caught that thinking that was the problem, but in all actuality, it was the pump on the transmission that went bad and probably cracked. What sucks is you don't have a temperature gauge for your transmission. That would have been a big sign because you would have seen the transmission was getting hot. But luckily, when it made the noise the first time, this thing stalled.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it stalled, and then whenever it actually did break down, it stalled while driving, like in gear.
Yeah, it just.
Yeah, and then it just wouldn't start after that.
Either way, I don't know. He found a cam bearing for sure, and now we know for sure. Because right now, if I was to get down there, which I'm not going to do it again because I've done it too many times. If we get down there and try to turn that torque converter, it won't spin right now very easily. You have to fight it. I mean, then it binds up and you go the opposite direction and you have to like mess with it and then it'll loosen up. So he definitely needs a new pump on the transmission. So now back to the drawing board, man. The Yukon needs some parts too. So yeah. This is the life, bro. Braven's definitely bummed.
It'd be cheaper to do everything I want to do to the truck. Well, it would be cheaper to get the Colorado running again than it would be to rebuild that.
No, you don't have to rebuild it. You just need a freaking pump.
Yeah, but who knows how long the pump was out for?
The pump is gonna... No, I think you caught it pretty quick, bro. I think you caught it pretty quick. I think you're the reason why the pump cracked. But I'd be telling you, these LSs don't like the high RPM.
Just a boy.
I'm telling you.
see those videos? He's like, I'm just a girl.
I'm just a boy.
And then they're just running into curves and shit like that.
I was always, when Braven got this Yukon, bro, I was always giving him shit that the LSs don't like living in high RPM. Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Braven ain't going to lie to you either. He drove the absolute shit out of this thing.
I drive shit out of everything I drive. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't drive like no bitch.
Exactly, bro.
Wonder why I always break my shit? I don't drive like a little bitch, that's why. Anyhow, guys, it's not a big deal. I've never done a transmission pump before, neither has Braven, but we're going to be doing one here very soon, and then we'll get the Yukon put together. Good Lord, this has been a fiasco for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here because it's been a very long day, and now it's finally cooling off.
Very long weekend.
Very long weekend. We've had 110-degree days every day.
Been like all day, every day.
Yeah. All right, later. Bye, Rughead.
Later.